Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode. I am really thrilled about this one. I think this is going to be a very huge opportunity for so many people to change their lives for the better and really stick with it. In case you're new here or someone shares this with you, because this might be one of those episodes that kind of just gets shared around a lot throughout the time. And I am Nikki Harris. I am a nutrition coach. I live in Central Iowa with my family. I have two kiddos. We're crazy in all the sports. I got really into health and fitness after my kiddos were born. I did not grow up an athlete, right? So I kind of figured all of this stuff out along the way after having my kids. So I kind of can relate to a lot of you, especially the women, out there that have been struggling or have tried all the things and, hasn't gone well or hasn't stuck and all that stuff. And I've been so fortunate to take on a career path that has to do with helping other people find their health and nutrition, find those goals. And that's where this program kind of developed out of. So, to put it to you this way, there's so many people that have struggled a lot with the all in or all out mentality. It's like you have to be 100% all the time in order to reach the goal. And then if you are capable of doing that, because that's how I used to be, then you often, or I find that clients will, be 100% for however long, reach the goal, and then they are burnt out on it and they go back to old lifestyles. And then all of it comes back, all the weight comes back, all the bad habits come back, and everything that they worked so hard for goes away. And that doesn't make any sense to put your body in that kind of limbo over and over and over again. And I know because I've lived through it time and time and time again. And so I've completed other programs, things that are extremely difficult. And you have to be 100% in for however long. And you have to knock it out of the park every single day, no matter what, rain, shine, sick, upset kids, a million things going on in the schedule. And yeah, it taught me a lot of discipline. And it taught me a lot about how much I am capable of and how to prioritize a schedule and all of those things, which was great. But it was one of those things where when you get done with it, or when I got done with it, and how many of my clients feel when they get done with it, they have to learn how to live life again and figure out how to do it without feeling like you're failing every day. And it's a really hard mentality shift. And I got so sad seeing people go through this all in and all out, roller coaster of life. And so I wanted to come up with something that made sense. So throughout the last 2 years or so, I have really been working hard to find that true balance in life where I can be healthy, where I can have the energy, where I can still enjoy the cookie or the ice cream cone, right? Even if it's a random Tuesday, or whatever. And then I can also, turn around and still make progress on a physical goal, or I can put, a timestamp on myself to want to run a mile in this amount of time, or whatever the case is, and still live that balanced life piece. And it's been really eye-opening and amazing. And so I came across a post on Instagram, I think a while back, and the 80/20 rule is certainly not anything that is new, right? It is something that has been out there for a very long time. I would give credit where credit was due. I don't know who came up with it originally. I clearly did not. But I am utilizing this principle in order to be the foundation of what I've created, which I am calling my 80/20 for 90 program. It is officially out and running right now. There's a big group of us that started on October 1st, which is when this releases, will have been earlier this week. But the beauty of this program is that you can start it at any point, right? You can start it on any day that you want to. You can do it by yourself. You can do it, with our group in my app for free. I have a free download for it, and you can be a part of a group of people that are doing it. You don't have to post about it at all. You can print out the sheet and you can go for it that way. All of these things will be linked below so you can do it however you want to. And it makes it really easy in order to make it fit how you want it to fit, which is exactly what I wanted this program to be. The reason that I am doing it, the 80/20, means that you're going to do, 80%. If you are able to hit 80% of your priorities, able to follow through on 80% of the things that you say you're going to follow through on, for at least 80% of the time, then that is going to help you get better, right? And 20% It's going to allow for some of that indulging. It's going to allow for some leeway. It's going to allow for a task miss or a priority kind of pushed to the side every once in a while. The problem that people run into that have this all in, all out mentality is when they can't check every single box, they feel like a failure, and then they just don't do any of it anymore. And they completely go backwards, or completely, like, they don't even just like break the wheel off the bandwagon, they burn the bandwagon to the ground, and then we have to start over again. And so it just doesn't make sense to do it that way anymore. So 80/20 is all about living in a way where you live at least 80%, right? Every single day. You can go 100% some days, right? Trust me, that's great. But knowing that you don't have to be absolutely 100% to the T every single day in order to make progress in all the ways of life is going to be so incredibly eye-opening. And it's so, you feel so much control over it. It's beautiful. So I love the 80/20 principle, and that's why I developed it with this foundation. Now, 90 days. Why 90 days, right? Seems like a really long time. However, the beauty of this program is it is built in order to be able to continue living it 90 days after 90 days after 90 days, because it allows for that flexibility of life already in it, right? You don't have to stop. You don't have to learn how to live life before and after, or have binge days or anything like that before or after, or cheat days before and after because you couldn't do it during. Like, you can live and go on vacation, you can go to weddings, you can go on date nights, you can, go to your kids' baseball games and all the things while living this program, because it is a lifestyle balancing program that still allows you to make progress. So 90 days is a long time, but the beauty of it is this program is going to teach you how to be consistent for 90 days with daily and weekly tasks. And it has been shown that 90 days is long enough, when you have done it for 90 days straight, that it will become a lifestyle change. And that's what we want. We don't want just a new habit. We want a lifestyle change. Because when you can change your lifestyle, then that becomes a piece of you, and that doesn't become so hard to follow through on. And it becomes absolutely amazing. So that's why it's 90 days long, because you can just keep going and going and going because life can happen right alongside of it without too much turmoil. And so what it is, in the way that I designed it, is there's 5 daily tasks. And you can complete all 5 every day, but you must complete at least 4. If you complete at least 4, that gives you your 80%. Okay, so that's exactly how I wanted to lay it out. You can complete all 5, and if you complete all 5 a lot of the time, fantastic. But if it's Friday night or Saturday night, or if it's whatever, and we want to knock one of those babies off of there, okay, I understand. But let's make sure we follow through on the other 4 to give us our 80%, still getting us to grow, still getting us to be better versions of ourselves without feeling like a failure. That is the whole beauty of this. So there's those 5 daily tasks, 4 of which you have to complete every single day. And then there are 3 weekly tasks, of which you have to complete at least once per week. So that's a big piece of that too. You can do these weekly tasks more than once per week, depending on what it is or what life's giving you at that point. But you must complete each one of these at least once per week. Okay. So we're going to start with the daily tasks. Minimum of 10 minutes outdoors. Yes. Rain, rain, sun, sleet, snow, cold, hot, whatever. 10 minutes is not that long. Take your dog for a walk. Go out and build a snowman with the kids. Bundle up, get out there if it's winter, right? Outdoor time is so important. Not only does it reduce stress, it improves mood, it improves circadian rhythms, it improves how you sleep, it improves your hormone profiles, it improves so many things. And even in winter, right? Because I live in Iowa, it gets colder than a bone here. If your eyes see natural light for 10 minutes, you're going to get more natural vitamin D in your body than you would otherwise. Now, if it's summer and you can go out and have you're walking around in a sports bra with your shirt off or whatever the case is, and you get more of that sunshine on your skin for that 10 minutes, 20 minutes, if you happen to go longer, you're going to get more vitamin D exposure. And that is so incredibly helpful for mood and not feeling lethargic and actually sleeping better and all of those things. So 10 minutes a day at minimum. Okay. 10 minutes. You can do that. Get out there, get 10 minutes of outdoor time. Minimum of 80 ounces of plain water. Okay. Your body is mostly made up of water. Like, your brain is mostly made up of water. And so if you are dehydrated from not taking in enough plain water, then you are going to struggle a ton in order to feel good. Even just drinking water in the morning just automatically makes your body feel better because it's flushing all of the toxins and the junk out from the night before, right? So drink at least 80 ounces of plain water. A lot of people like to do 100, 120, 128, whatever. I'm saying 80 because 80 can give us at least a lot more than a lot of people are already doing. It gets you at least, to that 80-ounce mark. That's going to help you so much with just feeling better with all those basics. And it just makes sense. Okay. So plain water means not the water that you mix in with your coffee, not the water you mix in with your pre-workout, not the water that you mix in with your protein shakes, not the water you put a scoop of flavoring in. Plain water. Okay. The only exception to that is if you are putting a little bit of salt in your water, not the electrolyte, not the element, not that stuff. Plain water. But if you're doing a little bit of like salt, then I will take that. But otherwise, plain water, 80 ounces. Outside of that, what you decide to drink, as long as it's within your 80 and 20 rule, good to go. Okay. That's what this is. Minimum of 20 minutes of intentional movement. Okay. There's another one in the weekly test that is one full rest day a week. So I can see how that would get confusing. But what I want you to understand is that 20 minutes of intentional movement on a rest day can be a light walk. It can be stretching in your front yard. It can be, a nice bicycle ride with your kids, right? It doesn't have to be like hardcore, let's go kill it on your rest day. So 20 minutes of intentional movement can be you going out for a nice stroll with the dog in the morning on your rest day, right? That is 100% okay. The 20 minutes of intentional movement, and I'll get more to the rest day thing when we get to weekly, but 20 minutes of intentional movement can be intentional walk. It can be the 20 minutes of yoga. It can be at least 20 minutes of, swimming. It can also be an hour-long CrossFit workout. It can be you running a marathon, right? At least 20 minutes of moving your body with intention. Doesn't have to be super hardcore, but it has to be 20 minutes and it needs to be every day. Okay. Minimum of 80% minimally processed or whole food. So this is a big one. It's going to be really hard for a lot of people, but it is so incredibly imperative that you start taking control of the foods and the quality of foods that you're putting in your mouth. It is so scary, the stuff that is in our food right now, and it is causing all kinds of metabolic disruption, and it is causing all kinds of huge long-term chronic disease issues. It's causing all of the obesity issues. It's causing everything from autism to dementia to PCOS to infertility to everything, early death. You guys, please, okay? So the biggest thing that we can take control of is stop eating so much of the highly processed stuff. And the 80-20% stuff, it allows you to still have some of our indulgence, right? It allows you to still have that scoop of ice cream, but the other 80% is going to be mostly whole foods. It's going to be things that you can identify the ingredients in. It's going to be things that, you can actually literally tell what it is from where it came from. Like a potato is a potato, right? So have the potato, have the meat, have the broccoli, have the strawberries, whatever that case is. Make sure it's minimally processed. When you look at the ingredients on the back of a box or a bag that you're taking in, if it has like 8, 10 ingredients or more and you can't pronounce them, and there's a ton of added sugars and there's a ton of added dyes and preservatives and emulsifiers and all that stuff in there, that's going to fall into that 20%. So put it to you this way, right? Like if you want to go out and have an ice cream cone with your kids, because this is a big one for us. We like to go get a scoop of ice cream from here and there. And trust me, I'm getting the brookie one with the brownies and the cookie dough pieces and all the things in there. If I want to have that, that is my indulgence. That is my 20% right there. The rest of my day, it's going to be pretty darn clean. It is going to be, the whole food based items. Everything that I cook with is going to be mostly whole foods. It is going to be very minimally processed options, and you're going to suddenly start to feel so much better. So obviously there's no black and white with this. You might not be tracking food, and that's okay. You don't have to track food in order to do this program, but you have to be very, very cognizant of it. You need to be aware. You need to be honest with yourself. I already had pizza for lunch. That's probably my 20%. I probably should make a better choice for supper, right? You need to be very honest with yourself about where your gray lines start to flow, right? Because if you start to justify having pizza and ice cream and beers and stuff like that, when you already had, cinnamon rolls and pancakes and Starbucks coffee for breakfast, you're not living 80-20 at all, right? So you need to be very honest with yourself about what this looks like. So be sincere with yourself. 80% or more of minimally processed, high quality, whole food options. You're going to feel like a new person. Like within a week, you're going to feel like a new person. Okay. Intentionally or genuinely compliment or reach out to someone that matters to you. This one is so good. And this is going to be from the emotional side of you, right? We are so disconnected as a society. We're so disconnected as people because especially here in our country, everything is like, how hard can we work and how hard can we like drive our ass into the ground? And we forget to like breathe. We forget to slow down. It's like a sign of righteousness to burn your candle from both ends and see how long you can last. So let me tell you, I've done that and it's not good. The end result means you are burnt. So don't do that. And so by doing this, by slowing down, by appreciating the people that are around you, whether it is your cousin that you lost track of or you haven't called in forever because life happened, send them a quick text. Thought of you today. I hope life is amazing. I hope we can catch up soon, right? Something like that. Maybe it's the stranger in the store. Compliment something that you love about them. Maybe it's their hair. Maybe it's their shoes. Maybe you love their car. Maybe their dog is adorable. People love it when you compliment their pets, right? Stuff like that. Take a moment to appreciate anyone around you. Give them a genuine compliment. It doesn't have to be anything, grand. It doesn't need to be a gift. It doesn't need to be anything like that. Make someone realize that you're thinking of them, that they are seen, because that can make a world of difference. And you do that every single day with someone. Oh, it's amazing. And the fact that you can just send that text, right? You can make that phone call to that person that you meant to reach out to again and again. And now you're going to finally do it. And it doesn't have to take long, right? Put it out there. Put the good vibes out in the world. You're going to feel so much better. They're going to feel better. And you all right now, we need a lot of people who feel a lot better. Okay, so that's a big one. So those are the 5 daily tasks. So like I said, complete all 5 every day, but you have to complete at least 4. So I wouldn't suggest always, not completing the nutrition one. That's going to be everybody's biggest culprit, right? You can run this however you choose, but if you choose to constantly not follow the nutrition one and do the other 4, you're still going to be doing better than you were before, but you are not going to see the progress that you want to see or feel as good as you can feel if you always like knock out that nutrition one. That's a really, really big one. I really suggest taking that one really, really close to your heart and hitting that most of the time. So like I said, all 5 of the daily tasks, you must do at least 4 a day. I would not suggest always skipping the same one. Okay. Try to do all 5 if you can. It's even better. Now, the weekly tasks, 1 full rest day per week, right? Now, like I said, you don't have to be a lump on the couch. You don't need to lay in bed all day. You don't need to do stuff like that. You can still get up and move, but don't go out and crush a 10K, right? Like, you don't need to go out and be Lance Armstrong that day. Just be yourself. Go for a short hike. Go for a nice walk with the dog. Play catch in the yard with your kids for 20 minutes. Something like that is perfect on your rest day. Do yoga. Hit up some stretching. Do some foam rolling. Something like that. Take care of yourself. That's what this rest day is all about. And it doesn't have to be crazy, but your body needs that rebuild and repair time. That way you're taking care of it. You're sending it like non-stress signals or sending it safe signals. So your body's going to reduce the cortisol, reduce the inflammation, allow fat loss to happen. You're going to allow your muscle to build. You're going to allow your metabolism to get better so that we can eventually just be stronger and have more muscle definition and have less fat and have less metabolic issues. Like, please, 1 rest day a week. Okay. You can be active. You just don't need to go out and be insane. Like you don't need to do anything crazy hard on your rest day. Think ahead, prepare, and plan is weekly task number 2. So, a lot of people might do this day to day, but I really suggest looking forward at your week ahead at least, right? So, what does your week ahead look like? Are you planning for it ahead on Sundays? A lot of people do like a Sunday prep day. So look ahead at your week ahead. Do I have an appointment? Do I have travel? Do I need to have the kids X, Y, and Z on these days? Do I need to prepare this meal ahead of time to take with me there? Do I need to have something in the crock pot that morning to serve not only myself, but to my kids that are quality foods so that they can feel better themselves and I can feel better myself and I'm not stressed about dinner and we don't do pizza last minute because I didn't plan ahead? What do you need to plan ahead for? What do we need to make sure that we have in the back of our mind that is coming down the pipe so that we can be as prepared as possible to be successful? So look at your week ahead at least and plan, prepare, look ahead, know what you need to do, know what you need to handle so that you can get your game plan and your ducks in a row ahead of time. It is so imperative. Now, the last one is super fun for your weekly task. This is going to be up to you. I wanted to put in something where every single week you have a task that you complete for yourself. So a lot of people don't know what to choose. And that's fair because you don't know what you want to build a habit on. So I would say when you look at your life, what is something that you really struggle to keep a priority that you know you should keep a priority, especially when you're taking on extra focus points, maybe like a program like this? So for me, when I take on a program like this, which could be a change for you guys, this is basically my daily life at this point. But when you take on a new challenge for yourself, you put yourself as a priority a lot, which is great. You need to do that. But are you losing sight of your spouse, right? So once a week, do you need to make your spouse a priority? Make sure that they know that they are seen, that they're loved, that they're appreciated. Do you make them their favorite meal? Do you make sure that you fold their laundry a certain way? I don't know. Or set out something that you know is important to them. Or maybe they're like a gift person and you see something in the store that makes them feel special. Or maybe you just need to send them a text and say, hey, I was thinking of you today. I love you. I know life is crazy right now, but I'm here, right? Make sure, right? That can be something. Maybe that relationship is with your kids, same kind of situation. Or maybe it's finances. Maybe every single week you want to put $5 into your savings account. Perfect. Do it. Maybe every single week it's a career thing. Maybe you want to earn a certification of some sort. So every single week you study for this certification for 20 minutes or whatever it is. It's a lot of, maybe it's faith-based. Maybe every single week you struggle to like read the Bible every day if this is your thing, right? Maybe you read the Bible or do a verse or whatever the case is at least once a week, right? Make sure that you pick out a task that needs some polishing for yourself. And the beauty is after 90 days and 13 weeks of doing this task, you can either keep it the same for your next round of 90, or you can change it, right? Makes it pretty awesome. So I'll also say if you do fail, that I would suggest you start over. Because if you don't start over, you're not going to have the habits ingrained. It's not going to become a lifestyle change. So if you get to day 70 and you miss 2 tasks and you only get 3 done, start over. It's just living the same lifestyle balance that you were before, but we need to follow through better. And so that's what this is. So you'll find below the free downloads for my app. If you're an existing NH Fitness member, it's an add-on. If you are a new NH Fitness member, you can do it just through the main course selection at the top. Either way, they're free. And you get put into a group of people that are doing it at the same time. So you can chit chat back and forth. There's a meal plan that comes with it for free. It's not tracking food or anything, but there's a free meal plan in case you want to utilize that. And then the other options, you don't have to do it through my app at all, right? You can do this completely on your own, unbeknownst to anyone else. There's also my like fridge printout type sheet. So you can easily print that out, put it on your fridge. You can check off your tasks every single day. There's also an Instagram or social media sharing sheet. So if you want to check off each day that you complete everything, then you can put that out there. If you do use these things, please tag me. I love seeing you guys be successful. It'll also help get the word out because the more that we can get this into people's hands, I think the better. And I really think this is going to be a life-changing situation, like I said, for so many people. So please give 80/20 for 90 a consideration. If you know of somebody that you think would want to do it with you, share it with them, share this podcast with them, share the information with them. I want to see people be successful, and that's why I did it. That's why I made it free, because I know that this is how I live life, and that is how I have become successful the majority of days in my life. And I want to see everyone else being able to live that way too. So, any questions, I'm always here. Shoot me all the questions. We're always happy to help a Team NH Fit. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will talk to you next week.